Good evening, everyone, and welcome to Action-Packed Tales of Istoria, where heroes and villains are made. Thank you for tuning into our weekly D&D web stream as we just play Dungeons & Dragons in our own little homebrew world of Istoria. First and foremost, so we want to give a thank you to Riot Games for letting us use their music for free. We really appreciate it. If you're interested in checking that stuff out yourself, it's in our About Us section on our Twitch page. And if you look in the bottom right corner, the playlists will be streaming through and kind of cycling through songs. If you like it yourself, you can check it out. Riot has an awesome playlist that you basically check out on Spotify or I think SoundCloud. So look at those sources and check it out yourself if you're interested. We'll go to the table and get to a quick announcement. Unfortunately, we hope you feel better soon. I'm just feeling with the summer cold.
Yeah, summer cold.
Yeah.
It's like the literal worst.
But we appreciate you distancing yourself as not to infect the table. Pat, courage. Hopefully you can avoid getting a bug yourself. All right. And then on a personal note for myself, my Uncle Tom had passed away yesterday, so I just want to say I'm happy that your journey of dealing with cancer is no longer impacting you, and wherever you're at, I hope you have peace and happiness. So, a little somber note there, but it's ultimately the end of a long journey. So hopefully it's a good thing for the family. And my heart goes out to everybody in Pennsylvania, Colorado, wherever you guys are. My family's all over the place, so I honestly don't remember anymore. But moving on. So we had a bit of a break last week because we got a new pup upstairs. You might hear her. Bean is her name. She's adorable. I'll post pictures on Twitter at some point, and the socials and stuff in general. But if you hear her barking, you probably won't. But on occasion, she likes to let everybody know that there might be somebody walking upstairs, which very well may be me, and just barking at me. She growls in excitement. It's adorable and hilarious. So we'll find out later on. But yeah, that pretty much covers it for all of that. So who wants to talk about what happened, not last week, but the week before?
Usually I leave that to Pat, Graham, because they keep the notes of all notes.
Unfortunately, I was gonna say, unfortunately, I think audio-wise, you probably get picked up by the microphones. You might not, though. So if anybody else wanted to share some details,
I do not
might
remember.
be better.
Oh my god,
I wasn't here.
Saw the dinosaur.
Thank you, by the way.
So the week before that, we finished the hag fight. So we kind of cleaned up after the hag fight, got healed up, talked to Uranus a bit, let him know that the elixirs that help people rest on the island of the Isle of Eternal Shadow were made of drow, which he oddly seemed not that perturbed by.
Right.
The potions are elves.
Yeah. There, I think we made our way toward
Make it on me.
Thoru'Forek.
Yeah.
Oh,
Thoru'Forek.
hey! I don't even have my notes open, so
Oh, nice.
remember.
You're doing great.
Yeah.
You're doing great.
So we were making our way there. We got in a fight with a bunch of shadow mastiffs, if I remember correctly.
Oh yeah.
What, dogs?
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay.
Cleared them out pretty quick.
Yeah.
Don't want to brag, but you know.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
No,
Did you
Brad,
let all
go
your
ahead.
pent up aggression from the stone fight?
Tired of being stoned.
Really funny if you would have stoned them.
Yeah.
It's not 420 anymore.
We made it to Thoru'Forek after that. And then I think we were making our way to the tower to talk to their leader, whose name I cannot remember off the top of my head.
Got it.
Yeah, that pretty much covered it.
No,
But
no. What's the leader's name? We don't remember.
I know. I was waiting to see if anybody responded, but nope. Okay. Inquisitor Eknona.
Inquisitor Eknona. Yes.
I was talking.
Inquisitor No No.
Inquisitor Nona is Rod.
Oh,
Yes.
Yeah.
Full name.
Yeah, those are all words that mean things.
And yeah, that's pretty much where you left off. You did walk in a bit, and you talked to a not directly. You saw a you saw a troglodyte sticking out from some of the older buildings amongst the establishment of Thoru'Forek, and then you also got to talk to some kobolds. Well, one in particular, anyway. And made a quick trade of some vials of acid, or I think it was a vial of acid and a vial of the alchemist fire.
Yeah.
For a newly minted deck of cards.
Yep. Because why not? You want good relations wherever you go.
Yeah.
You never know. Kobolds might have something of value in the future, and they might give us a discount.
Mm-hmm.
Aren't kobold vermin?
No. They're adorable little baby dragons. Kind of.
Kobolds are friends, not food.
They're
Right.
like the halflings of Dragonborn.
Yeah, honestly.
That's, yeah.
Yeah. So, as the party then was led to the Tower of Growth by Uranus, he then said he probably didn't really want to go up himself personally and kind of ushered you towards the doorway leading in.
There it is. Have fun.
Yeah. You want to go in? Nah, it's not really
I
back up
I
there.
left my lizard and my kobold in the stove.
Yeah. And from there is where we pick up then. So, let me go ahead and set the thing with... Change the map so we can just have Thoru'Forek pulled up for the table.
Maps.
Soup. And I'll go to map view for the table. Or for the stream. And it's upside down. There we go. And there's a bunch of stuff. Actually, can somebody clear all of the dead dogs?
Bitters.
Yeah.
Phrasing? I feel like we need phrasing.
Yep. Sorry, all the dead shadow mastiffs.
So this is one of our towers. We got an activator or whatnot.
Yeah.
We got a.
What a cool
Do we
bat.
know if it's
Thank you.
populated?
The Inquisitor lives in there apparently, so
Are they friend or foe?
don't know yet.
We're gonna find out.
Hopefully friendly, since we're bringing them these elixirs that they're talking about using. And
So anyway, I started stabbing.
Yeah.
I'm zooming just a little bit. There we go. So,
You really captured the whole Isle of Shadow shade.
thank you. Yeah. You know, this is probably one of the greener areas outside of the Escafir woods that you guys had come from originally. This is another surprisingly verdant area. So, as you walk up to the tower, and change that, and change. Nope. That. There we go. So, as the group walks up, you see the ancient stone. Jesus Christ, tone. All right, screw it, we're done. Calling it right there. You see the ancient stone tower stretching high above the nearby buildings. Its cylinder construction tapers inward at its different tiers, with green shingles forming what look like bindings to cap them, before finally ending in a spired point at the top. While walking up to the entranceway, you see a large pair of wooden doors, intricately carved in a stone archway. As you approach and walk in, tell you what, let's do a quick walking order. Who's going to walk up first? Just first, and if the group kind of approaches as a cluster, that's fine too. But
Sure. I go.
Rinse
We just gotta
off
get in
the
here.
roof floor.
yeah,
Stand
I'll go
with
first.
Door. So me boy.
Of course, I'm tied by a string to the deer.
Yep, of course.
Not on his shoulders. No.
Nah, in case he's got to swing. I don't want him to swing me on accident.
Can also be a hat.
We finally got the child leash.
Yeah. Around the waist, supermarket.
So as you approach and open the doors, they're heavy and they kind of slowly grind against the stone. Before you walk into a kind of entranceway, the thick outer wall creates an almost tunnel-like entrance as you walk through this kind of brief but arched entryway. Entering the first room, you see first a lush garden with small flowers, some vegetables, and a single fruit-bearing tree in the center of the room. Its circular build is all stonework, and as you look first into the garden, you can't help but notice that among the flowers and small vegetable-bearing plants that are there, the fruit tree also bears an unusual assortment of different fruits. You see apples, oranges, lemons, pears, almost any fruit you can kind of think of, you do see among its branches.
Grow the rainbow. Taste the rainbow.
Damn straight. As you look, though, and your eyes begin to wander, you see the stonework around the garden. While it is ancient, it is immaculate in its craftsmanship, and the floor spots, despite the humidity in the air that would naturally lend to some sort of either grass, weed, or possibly moss growth. It is spotless. As your eyes shift upward, you see a beautiful stone mural wrapping around the first floor, just beneath a series of arched stained glass windows that also wrap around the room near the 20-foot ceiling. The mural depicts humanoid creatures doing battle with terrifying monsters and dragons. Does anybody have a passive, or sorry, not a passive, but a history check of 8 or higher?
History?
Yeah. Just a history score, like a bonus.
Nope.
Okay.
What about you, Pat? History?
Definitely not.
None of us were very good at history, apparently.
No.
All right.
I have a +5.
That's an intelligence.
Yeah, or
Wisdom?
religion.
Oh, then yes.
Okay.
My religion's only +5.
Ah.
We're a very religious group.
I got a 7.
I have
Well,
0
that's-
religion.
You have 0 to religion?
It's none of those.
But still 7.
7. Okay. So not an 8.
Nope.
You said
He
5.
said 8 or
Oh,
8 or
shit, my bad. Okay. I don't know, I heard 5 in my head.
I said 5.
That's
Right.
okay.
Yeah, okay.
I said I had a 5 in history.
Ah, okay. You know what? I'll allow a roll. Anybody can roll for this then. The DC is more than 8.
Okay, so I mean, I have,
It's just-
I have a
that's-
10 in perception.
Yeah, perception could work too, but go ahead and roll for those that want to. This would be history or religion.
11 in religion.
Okay.
Aren't you a cleric?
Well, I rolled a 6, so
History.
I rolled nat 1.
Okay.
So that makes it a 6 in history.
That's what I come up with.
You're not wanting everyone to roll.
16.
Anybody can roll.
they just built this island like last year.
Yeah.
didn't they?
25 in religion.
Okay. So Rainier looks at the iconography and recognizes that this likely is the great battle that that took place in the past between the gods and the great monsters, in addition to the dragons. One thing that
So is this like island like covered in eternal shadow because it's like divine radiation from whatever nukes they set off?
details to follow.
Divine nukes.
The one thing that I would say anybody with a passive perception of 12 or higher notices is that there are 3 of the figures that are capped in gold all along this mural, which is stone. The 3 figures that are capped in gold, though, you recognize. What was you said religion? What's your score?
+5.
Well, right. What was the roll that you had?
Oh, my roll was 11.
Okay, so you don't recognize it. But Lambert, you recognize Dana, the Green Warden, and Dualon are all capped in gold. Those 3. So, like, among the mural, there are gold figures that look like they've been basically capped in gold. So,
Gold plated.
yeah. Damn butt. I should stop.
Let you talk with me, hang out, bro. Come on.
Nope.
Show the stream.
Yeah, it doesn't matter. I know, but anyway,
One button.
I
Too
feel
much.
better with it on.
I can't fucking breathe.
Man, look. Let's go.
Yeah.
Get it out there.
Yeah. No.
I want to stretch out the shirt, but
Yeah, I was gonna say there's a lot more down here. So
He goes like an airbag.
was it like Eugene Levy basically? Or Steve Carell, take your pick. So anyway, so as you kind of look around the room, you do see that there are a pair of individuals walking about the room, one of which does approach you. It's a male drow, a drow man. He has short, curled white hair, brown eyes, black skin. He's 5'6", but you see him wearing a shawl of this like black, white, and green fabric woven together. Ready? Beneath that, he wears what looks like priestly robes, still somewhat humble. And he reaches out to greet you. And as he does that, you see that there are a pair of leather gauntlets around his wrists. As he reaches out, welcome to the Tower of Wisdom. I am Ridaro, and who are you, outsiders?
We are the Moonstone Guard. We recently met Uranus here. We were out. We just arrived on the island 2 days ago.
Yeah, feels like
Yeah.
a week or two.
And
It's actually been a few days, but
okay. But we met Uranus when we were in the woods to the south. We encountered the hag there, and unfortunately for you, because I know you use the elixir she produced to rest here, but she is no longer
she gone.
present.
see his eyes light up. Oh, I see.
We did bring most of the remaining elixirs that she had. I think she had 2 crates of them, if I remember correctly.
Can I do an aside? Are we willingly giving this information out? Have we
Yeah.
decided on that?
I mean, we didn't really as a group decide on it, but I feel like that's the best course of action.
I mean, he just did. But
Yeah.
Yeah, I was gonna say. I mean, nobody said otherwise, so Daruk was just gonna
Nobody
be
was like,
straightforward.
Daruka, why don't you go check on the storm or something?
You mean one crate? They had one, and she's still alive. Yeah. Anyway,
But
Oh, over there, lightning.
we also found information on how she was making the elixirs, which you may or may not want to use that information.
Izzy very dramatically. Gruesome business. Terrible.
brought a child with you.
You didn't bring me.
You hear the loudest sigh you ever.
This is most unusual news. And you said the hag of the woods has been slain.
Correct.
That's all.
Abominations are common occurrence on this island. His best would be brought up to the Inquisitor herself. If you follow me, I can lead you there.
I did want to ask before we got in the conversation, but I didn't want to interrupt anything. The tree with all the different fruits.
I was just getting to that.
Is there any way I could tell how old? Like, really, what I want to know is, did they grow this tree, or was it here when they got here? So, like, the only way I can think to know is how old it is.
Nature check, yeah.
Is it girthy?
Unless you're gonna try and
Supple.
yeah.
How thick is it? How many C's do we need?
15.
15. It's hard to tell. It's not a very big tree, being that it's growing within a 20-foot size building. But it's unusual. But amongst the unusual nature of things within this island, it's hard to guess. It's not a very large one though.
Okay.
I
I
mean,
would like to try to trade him one alchemist fire and one vial of acid for a basket of apples.
is that what you ask him?
Yeah.
Specifically apples, or
Yeah, I know,
any fruit from the tree?
Since the beginning of this character's creation, I've been after them candied apples that I had in my childhood. Well, yeah, in my childhood.
Yeah. as he looks, that tree is sacred, and plucking fruit from it is strictly only permitted for the priesthood.
How about alchemist fire and a vial of acid for one of them fancy robes you got?
They are only provided to the priesthood. Should you devote yourself to it, you may be granted one.
Do you have a pamphlet?
No.
Should really think about getting a pamphlet.
I suggest containing your child during this next...
I frolic.
Oh, believe me, we've tried.
We do your captures for John.
Not my collar again.
Yeah, you can yank the rope. So, as he leads you up, he leads you to the back of the room, the western wall. As you see a curved set of stone stairs that lead up to what you imagine is the second floor. Walking upward, you eventually exit out through an opening within the floor, and the first thing you see, inevitably, is a massive, multi-armed and tiered scale structure that's slowly revolving around in a cylinder railed chamber in the center of the room. Large and some almost extending 30 feet into the air, moving platform travels up and down within the central chamber, and large arms hang from this structure with small platforms at the ends of them, no more than 10 feet in diameter, with these small, narrow rail catwalks leading to them from this central kind of almost elevator-like appearance in the central cylinder. At the base of the floor, though, at where you guys are currently, you see small altars with candles aflame scattered about the floor between half bookcases arranged in rings around the room. Looking passively, anybody with a 15, actually, let's see, I'd say Daruk and Rainier. Vidir, what's your religion score again?
0.
Okay,
You
so
figured that would be so much higher, being that he is what he is.
it would, but yeah, you know what? Unusual
He doesn't need
circumstances.
to know. He doesn't need to know religion. He just has to do what Daddy Son Man says.
Yeah, exactly.
God,
Hey, I used to be a bounty hunter.
That's true.
oh,
Yeah.
I didn't know that. Cool.
Yeah. So then, Daruk and Rainier, you both do see that among these small bookcases, there is religious inscriptions and texts filling the bookcases. And looking at some of the bindings, you can see that the tomes of these books are both probably ancient and new. You can only imagine that the details are countless centuries of either religious practices or pieces of history regarding specifically religion within these walls.
Would he suspect that they might have like a book of like rites or rituals?
As we're walking, can we talk to already blanking on names?
Radar.
Radar.
Yeah, absolutely. As he begins walking you, he actually gives you an explanation. In the first floor, we have a garden that is dedicated to the Green Ward. That space, being the base of the tower, is meant as kind of the pillar by which the rest of it is built upon. The second floor is meant for Duelan. As you see this large-scale structure, it is meant to both show that when one is granted fortune, it may cost someone else some sort of price, unknown at the time. These platforms represent balance, and that when something is given, oftentimes something is taken too. He begins walking towards the center kind of cylinder where you can see it's basically an elevator from the center of the room, amongst this like rail structure that heads and leads upward.
How familiar are you with say the more modern religions of Tasha?
Oh, quite. We have many religious texts in here from centuries, but I am newer to the priestly order, so my focus has mainly been on more recent practices, religious doctrines. Did you have a question?
I guess mostly, how closely do more modern religions adhere to the old ways?
Well, the old ways were not terribly far off from modern, but there are certain esoteric rites that are no longer performed simply because they may have been more relevant when the gods walked the planet itself, but we still like to keep the texts here and try to maintain them as best as we can. Many of these books, if handled improperly, will crumble to dust in almost an instant, so we work to preserve them and keep them safe. Some of them we've recovered from the ruins out within the isle itself, but those days are, I think, coming to their end. Without us being able to venture up quite so easily, that's best discussed with the Inquisitor. I apologize. I'm speaking out of turn. If you follow me, we will head to the elevator that brings us up to the roof. As he walks you to the center of chamber, you do see that there is a platform that raises and lowers throughout the chamber that leads up to the third floor. So, walking over to it, you walk onto this platform, and you see him kind of give a wave of his hand where there's a small flash of this kind of greenish light that then begins ascending the platform. And while somewhat rickety, it still travels smoothly enough. However, as it gets towards the top, you see it stopping just before, about 7 feet short from where the ceiling is. You then see that there is actually a metal railing that extends upward into the next room. As you walk up the metal stairway, you then see it open again into the floor of the third room, where rather than the kind of harshness of the stone and metal from the second floor, you're now in a mostly wooden construction. A cylindrical wooden platform sits in the center of the room, with a spiral staircase leading to the top, where a railing wraps around this kind of elevated tier. Along the outer walls, alternating stacks of wooden weapons and wooden dummies sit. The room beyond this, though, is almost entirely empty, save one curved wooden staircase near the western wall. As Rodaro leads you in, he says, "This floor is meant for Dana and her worship. The martial prowess of the goddess teaches us that with our own skills, we may also grow as individuals, not only in knowledge and understanding one's actions, or even in the natural world, but this room is more about cultivating your own character. And within this priestly order, we also do practice martial prowess, making sure that, should the time come, we may rise to the challenge and defend the tower."
Good to know you're not sitting back, hoping for the best. That always goes wrong.
The island does teach many lessons, one of which is that you must be prepared to defend yourself and others.
Hope you never need to use that. Those bullets.
Hope not as well. But we are nearing the final chamber. If you follow me, as he leads you to the wooden staircase in the back. Ascending into the final fourth floor, you walk up to a heavy set of doors that he opens up. Only one of them. Briefly knocking, and then opening the door up, you see a largely, nearly circular room. While bisecting the back of the floor plan, you can see has a side door that kind of cuts it at a mostly circular. Entering in, candlelight fills the room with beautiful wooden furniture along the walls to your left and right. But your eyes naturally kind of drift onward to see a large mosaic on the outer wall, the flat one, depicting 3 figures whom you've seen the tower was built. Dana in the center, the Green Warden on the left, and Dulon on the right, with a religious altar resting in front of it. A large pair of tables sit to your left and right, with books and papers scattered about on them, and chairs haphazardly placed near them. Books and bureaus and the facades built into the walls provide storage for an unknown number of items, but some of them you recognize as religious burners, incense burners, and other items of religious importance. The stonework on the floor has a path leading to the center of the room where a circular pattern sits, almost kind of beckoning there. Rodaro calls out into the room. Inquisitor, we have guests. As he pauses for a moment. Of the tower. They have some news I felt was best to bring to you. At that moment, you see the one figure standing near the altar, who was kind of hunched over and either reviewing some sort of text that was on it or reading it, but she looks up. As she looks up and the light catches her face, you see an older elven woman. Her long white hair braided into separate strands that are mostly pulled back, some falling on her face as she looks upward and pulls her hair backward. As she leans back, you see a cape across her shoulders and draping over half-plate that she wears, with the same black, white, and green color schemes as some of the other members of the tower you happen to walk by. As she stands up to look at you, you see her left hand grab a distinct two-pronged spear as she walks up and puts a little bit of her weight on. As she walks around the altar and stands in front of it, she reaches her hand out and says, "Thank you, Rodaro. Return to your studies. I may ask these individuals what they came to the tower. After all, they are the first guests we've had in..." See her pause for a moment. Maybe the first guest we've had. Please approach, as she gestures towards the center of the room.
Is Aranis still with us?
No, he did not come with you in the tower at all.
Oh, that's right. He just led us to the tower. That's right. I forgot about that.
Can we proactively do an insight check?
Sure. What were you trying to glean?
What's with his hesitation of going to the tower? Did he seem fearful? Did he seem nervous? Was he like,
Oh, yeah, sure.
was he just
So
casual
kind of
about it? Like, nah, you
retroactively?
guys go ahead, I got stuff to do. Or was he like, no, I'm not going up there?
Okay. Retroactively, yeah, go ahead and make an insight check.
I think he did say that, not in these words, but she could be kind of a hard ass. There's probably more to it than just that. So.
14.
14, yeah, that's basically what he had indicated. You could see that he was not exactly scared of it, but was like, had that kind of feeling of, I don't want to get on her bad side, so I'm just going to stay out of this in case I
news
say
is
something
good.
stupid. Yeah. So, as she then gestures towards the center of the room.
And I'm glad that you brought it up because I totally forgot that Aranis had said that until you asked.
Right.
So I'm going to try to not bring his name into this.
Right, yeah.
Remembering that now,
Like,
yeah.
This fool brought these people to me?
Yeah.
That child ate every apple on the tree.
Specifically, integration.
Yeah, no.
Specifically the apple.
Right.
Left the oranges alone, didn't touch the lemons.
Yeah.
Of course, who eats lemons, Kelsey? Who just straight eats lemons?
I'm assuming Kelsey.
Weirdo. Yeah, only. Kelsey's the only person I know.
Lemons are
Wait,
delicious.
you don't?
No. She will just, like, take a lemon slice and just
Okay.
eat it.
I'm glad you said slice, because I was imagining then once
biting
you
into
started
it.
Oh, no,
eating,
not the... Yeah,
Rind
just
and everything,
the
just
slice
pow.
of the slice.
Like,
Okay.
yeah, like the kind of like slice you get with like water sometimes.
Yeah.
I eat that.
You eat that?
Clearly somebody not
Yeah.
afraid of scurvy.
yeah. Yeah, as she says in chat, someone who isn't weak and will survive the winter.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Fair.
So-
I haven't died to winter yet.
Yeah.
I mean,
Neither have I. All right. an honor to be potentially your first guests here.
So, where are you saying this first?
Where?
Mhm.
To the Inquisitor.
Okay. But, well, so she gestured towards the center of the room. Do you follow suit to walk up to it, or do you just stay where you're at?
Oh, if I get the impression that she's like indicating that I should walk up to there, then yes, I would walk up.
Okay, gotcha. Okay.
So it's an honor to be potentially your first guests here. We're fairly new to the island. I came because I was receiving visions from Adlack.
So you're kind of almost take a bit of a look. Her eyes kind of squint a bit. Adlack, you say? Why have you come to this tower?
He has asked that I gather the pieces of the Rod of Adlack. My understanding is that there's one in each of these towers. That's not the only reason we've come here.
Could I also have you make a charisma saving throw?
12!
Okay.
+4.
No.
16!
The magic +4.
Okay. As you walked into the center of the room, you felt some effect that compelled you to speak the truth.
I was gonna say, if it's Zone of Truth, I will willingly fail if that's a thing that I can do.
Oh yeah. Well, so you're an affected creature, and you're aware of the spell, so you can avoid answering questions, to which you normally respond with a lie. But yeah, you're aware that you are compelled to speak the truth.
Okay.
Which I feel like is weird. I feel like if you fail, you shouldn't know. But I don't know.
Right, like
Kinda
you
like-
start to talk, and
Yeah.
then it's like, oh no.
Right,
I said
yeah.
the thing.
Lasso of truth situation.
Exactly.
You get yourself rambling truths that you're like wouldn't know, and you're like, what
Yeah.
the fuck's going on?
Like you might be aware of it, but then like I feel like you should be anyway.
I'm just imagining a liar. The pen is
Right. Yeah,
blue.
yeah, exactly. Yeah. Royal blue. All right. Anyway, sorry.
But in addition to trying to gather the pieces of the rod, in our first day or so here on the island, we came across the hag in the forest to the south. And things got a bit violent, and she has been destroyed.
Blame it on me.
Believe we will then.
Would not suffer her to live.
We did get information on how she was making the elixirs that allow sleeps to be more restful here on the island. We know that's an issue. She was using drow to create the elixirs.
In what capacity?
Flesh and I don't say.
Yeah, I believe it was flesh. We do have her notes, which I think we do. Do I know we have her notes? I was a stone when she died. Actually,
I was a stone.
I just realized.
We can say it was discussed.
Okay.
So like, we have her notes.
Yeah.
I'm just like, yes.
And I'm sure we'd be willing to share notes on exactly what she was doing. There was also something about tears of a creature that she kept as essentially a pet, which we did not fight that creature. So.
Did we?
The Sinta Queen.
The one that came out of the pile.
The Centiquane? Yeah, we killed the Centiquane, didn't we?
Your uncertainty does not speak well to the competency of your group. How exactly have you been able to survive on this island?
Well, you are coming in fiery there.
To be fair, he was stoned
I was
the
turned-
entire fight.
I was turned to stone for about 24 hours. So things are a little fuzzy.
It makes more sense. Find ourselves... Oh, no, please. Do go on. She looks to Badir.
Sorry, I didn't know if this was a like one at a time thing or if we could be as a group.
Oh, no, speak as a group. I encourage anyone willing to share information to do so freely. It makes my job easy.
Oh, sir, what's your job then?
Her title is Inquisitor.
That was it.
He's inquisiting.
And it's wisdom, so she just wants to know stuff.
I think, wow. I think the Scarlet guy. Tell me all your secrets. Your delicious little secrets.
I don't know that there's that much more to share. As mentioned, we've only been here for a few days.
And how is it that you've come by Thoru'Forek, then?
We happened upon one of your rangers in the forest near where we fought the Pact.
Which ranger?
Didn't catch his name.
I can't say that.
Oh.
So I have to, yeah, I'll say Aranus. I'm not going to lie if asked directly, but I was going to try not to say Aranus.
I'll have to thank him for providing us with such esteemed guests. Well, we have an interesting dilemma amongst ourselves, then. I am not only just an inquisitor, but also a practitioner of the faith. Unfortunately, I was given a vision that I may need to provide a piece of the Rod of Adlack to the one who would be coming to claim it. But I see individuals who I question have the metal to secure all of the pieces. However, I am willing to extend my faith in those that came to claim it. But I think certainty is best measured by action. So I will give you the rod, the piece that I have, if you have the rest of the pieces. It is yours to take.
I'm gonna sigh, and when every other tower says the same, we've done more than you can imagine being stuck in your little island. We've fought genies, we've fought demigods. We're just trying to get this done. We don't want to traipse all around the island to have to come back to here to run your little errands.
You see her just kind of leer at you.
Well, I assume the rod is not for you, so the decision is not yours to make.
Rod, I wasn't here that night. That's making this really hard that I wasn't here.
I have no objections. Obviously, I need the aid of my friends to gather the other pieces, so I'm not going to.
This was your.
Yeah.
My bad. I forgot that.
It's all right. We're all on the same page now.
Yeah.
But
All right.
I meant, my understanding is that there's only one other tower that has a civilization living around it. That's the one with the Duergar around it.
With the southern one?
I think so.
Yes.
I should go to south first.
And something tells me the Duergar will not be as welcoming.
Though they are Darrow, not...
Oh, Daruk. Apologies. Well, you underdarked it. No, I don't say that.
No. Fancy.
Real quick.
Oh,
Not
yeah,
even
yeah.
meant that way.
You know what happens when half-look falls out of the tower? The same thing that happens to everything else.
Thing.
Just X-Men. The terrible line.
Yeah, I have no objections to that, and honestly, I would rather the other pieces remain safely in their tower if we're not able to collect them. I wouldn't want it to fall into the wrong hands.
So you have wisdom. Perhaps that should be the next tower you should go to.
Isn't it's the
No, Tower of Growth.
oh
You had some wisdom earlier.
Did?
I thought
Someone
you did.
I did say that there was, like, it's a matter of wisdom, but I may not have said the Tower of Wisdom. But it is. You were in the Tower of Growth.
Okay. That makes sense because of the tree. Okay.
I did say wisdom. I'm sorry. You're right.
Yeah, because, like when I was just talking to him, I was like, "Oh right, she is a wisdom inquisitor, so she must know things."
Yep. My apologies. Because I realized that. Yeah, no, I said Tower of Wisdom when you got there. I was like, "Yeah, you're the Tower of Wisdom." I'm like, "Wait, no, this is
But
Tower
this
of
is your world, so you didn't say that. You said growth.
Yeah, exactly.
This is
Yeah,
the
yeah.
Tower of Growth.
For sure. You know what's funny? I was actually writing something earlier, and I wrote Tower of Wisdom for whatever reason, and I was like, "No, they're the Tower of Growth." So I fixed it, and I guess my brain was still stuck on that, maybe. So anyway.
But okay.
Tony, can I insight check this lady and make sure that she doesn't just want us to go get all the pieces so that we bring her the pieces so that she can put the damn thing together?
I was thinking the exact same thing, actually.
Absolutely. You both can make insight checks.
Oh,
Can I use my perception, my passive perception, to see if there's anything around that I might be able to nick?
I swear to God, I hope you're on his shoulder still.
Yep, you're in baby jail.
No.
27 on the inside.
Okay.
24.
Okay.
That's nerfing me with these uppies.
So she's a guarded individual. You can get that clearly. Probably because of the role that she plays, but you do feel like she's being honest.
Well, is there any information you can provide us about the other towers?
Of course. We've done quite extensive scouting of the island. What would you like to know?
Any information you're willing to give us about creatures in the towers, any kind of trials we might face in the towers?
Well, creatures within the tower. As she begins to talk to you about this. If you want to make a, so it'd be a perception check. You're gonna look to see if you can find anything in particular.
I'm not intending to still, but I am looking around.
Sure.
That one.
Okay. You're like, I don't know what any of this shit is.
Let
And,
alone
I
if
mean-
it's valuable.
Yeah, admittedly, I mean, some of it does look like junk to you. So you're like,
He's gonna head with it.
So as she says, well, if you're wanting to know of the creatures you may encounter, that we have extensive information. If you were to start from one tower, moving to the next, starting here, of course, the next tower you would encounter is the Tower of Order. The undead have claimed those lands, and there is a Skull Lord that rules that area. It claims that domain and has risen countless skeletons and unknown corporeal and non-corporeal creatures. You'll find wraiths, specters, among others, flying about the air. And on the ground, you'll find skeletons of all manner of sort. Normal ones, giants. The details begin to get more difficult to find as you get closer to the tower. However, we do have information that a Skull Lord has claimed that area as its domain. Moving to the northeast is the Tower of Repose. There are only a few creatures that wander those lands, and avoiding them is your best chance of survival. They are known as Nightwalkers. These large entities are pure necrotic energy. Not simply just death, but destruction incarnate, entropy itself. To stay within those lands is to know what it is to be torn to nothingness. So, avoiding them is your best chance of survival. Moving on down to the south, you'll find the Tower of Storms. That, I suppose, is the tower where you may find your most affinity. There are a trio of giants that have made that tower their own. 2 cloud giants and 1, well, it's not exactly a giant any longer, but it is a spirit, one of the storm itself. They will not be willing to part with their peace. The others will likely not as well, but we have not actually spoken with them. The undead and the entropy creatures, they are more primordial forces of destruction and things to be bartered with. The giants, however, while intelligent, are quite secure in the space that they've taken. And lastly, the Tower of Wisdom, as we have said, is claimed by the Darrow and their illithid overlords. Yvthardul is a fortress, and entering it will be difficult, but is possible. You may find a gap within the walls and make your way inside. But should you decide to deal with the illithid that claim that domain, battle the Darrow, I imagine they will not be willing to part with their piece either. From what I understand, they are using it within their own laboratories for experimentation on different forms of not exactly seromorphosis, but something to that effect.
It is to be avoided.
Seromorphosis.
It is to
Experimentation, would you say?
That would be seromorphosis. The act of turning creatures into illithid.
So we're killing him with fire.
I would not recommend
With us
trying.
coming across all these creatures that want to turn other creatures into them.
Maybe we should just start turning other creatures into us.
Who wants to be an adventurer?
Sarah Moofus.
Hero camp.
Give him a dice roll.
Yeah,
That was
absolutely.
fucking good.
Yeah. Just give yourself inspiration on that one. Just save it.
Okay.
Yeah,
That was fun.
that really was.
And then, of course, there's the temple in the center of the island, which is where you may find, I suspect, your, well, an avatar of your benefactor. Or at the very least, an agent.
Thank you for sharing this information with us. Obviously very helpful to know what we will face before we face it, so we can at least come up with a plan of attack.
It is at least information with which you can use. Now the real trouble is actually accomplishing your goal. I should add, from what our scouts have said, the towers are in less than standing order. Only ours and Yvthardul's are fully standing at this point. The other towers are mostly destroyed, so you may have an easier time getting inside.
The towers are destroyed and no one's guarding them. Why haven't the pieces already been collected?
Oh no, I didn't say they were mostly destroyed, just that they are not fully standing any longer. You'll have a way of getting into them more easily than you would a fully formed tower like ours. Through the front door and up through the central chamber can be easily guarded. Same with the Tower of Wisdom and Thardul. However, the Tower of Order has, what I've been told, many holes within it. The Tower of Repose is, I believe, mostly crumbled at this point. And in the Tower of Storms is, I believe, half stick. So, you may still have a task ahead of yourselves, but it may be easier as points of entry. Getting out and getting the rod is your quest, your journey.
Well, as long as we are on the island, since you've obviously helped us quite a bit, is there anything that we could do for you if we have the opportunity?
I would say simply dealing with the other threats on the island is plenty for us.
Fair enough.
With that, as you are the ones who have been charged with this monumental task, there are resources we have within Thoru'Forek that you may find you have access to. Now, you may not be given any of them for free, but we do have a very capable blacksmith and a few mages that may have the ability of providing you some weaponry, scrolls, things of that nature.
How about
Can I break in a
apples?
couple seconds?
Yep.
How about apples? We
The
need
a-
food. Saw that tree? That was delicious.
The apples are not for barter. They are more religious than just simply sustenance.
What do you use them for?
Use them for anything.
That seems like a waste. Nature gives, nature provides. Not for nothing.
You are correct. Not for nothing.
Womp womp.
And ad break should be starting shortly, so we'll take a little pause there until eventually the ad break starts. Oh, what's going on now?
So it sounds like stealth is going to be our best option for at least 2 or 3 of the towers.
Or you can kill stuff.
The only one where I'm really worried about just killing stuff is the Darrow is the tower surrounded by the Darrow, because that's, if it's a whole fortress of Darrow and Illithid, probably not going to be too much fun to fight our way in and back out.
Find our way out, yeah.
Maybe the giant tower, I can rat it up.
Do what?
Maybe the giant tower, I can rat it up.
Yeah.
You say rat it up?
Rat it up.
I'll turn into
Oh, okay.
Wow,
I thought you meant like a swarm of rats. I'm like, that's interesting.
Do it.
Just turn into rat catcher or whatever from
Yeah.
DC.
Yeah.
In Dishonored, you can summon. You have a power that can summon voracious plague rats. It'll just
Oh,
like
that's
eat
awesome.
people alive.
Yeah,
Pretty cool.
that would do it. Damn. Well, we are in ad break for another 2.5 minutes.
Squirrel Girl, but rats.
Yeah. Ah. Sounds like there's a beanie baby. It's gonna go outside.
Beanie baby.
Close the gate.
I did.
Okay. My hands were full because he opened it.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
Would it be easier if we just started coming back in through the front door, or?
So that's the part I'm not certain about, because like that's where, so we have the front room and the dining room bisected currently to keep her like mostly in the front room for now.
Okay.
Until we have her like house trained and stuff.
Gotcha.
So as for now, I think it's still probably easier coming through the back. But eventually, once the dogs are acclimated and stuff, yeah, probably coming through the front or wherever. I guess it really depends on where the dogs are at that point. So if we have them outside, that'll make things easy. Just to be like,
Right.
hey, you two can just sit outside for a little bit.
Well,
My
just
other question for the... sorry, I'm jumping right back to the game, but...
No, you're good.
How dare you do what
Right.
we're here for?
Question for
Yeah.
the group, though, is do we want to do the Darrow Tower first? We'll be at closest to full strength. Because I have a feeling like the longer we're on this island, the harder it's going to be to get back to full health consistently.
Or these things give you power.
Snacky bit sounds good. Snacky bit.
Snacky cakes.
Give me 25 silver.
I'm actually a little worried about the our propose. Well, and the giant.
Oh, the Night Walkers?
Everything.
Come on, we can take on the Night Walkers.
It's like to take strolls at night.
Yeah,
Well, they do belong to our favorite time of day.
it's true.
Does anyone in the party actually know anything about elephants?
Like my character?
You have dealt with one once.
You did?
Yep.
Yeah, it's
Wait.
there.
The Star Caller.
Kicked his ass.
You did. You really did. But yeah, there was the one illithid that could like do star stuff. Just before you got
Yeah, he called down like a big
With Luciana.
meteor
Yep.
kind of thing.
Yep.
Oh, well then I feel like we'd all be like, no big deal.
Right. We dealt with one already.
It wasn't a regular hit.
Yeah, and it was just the one.
It was just the one illithid.
Well, that's my point. It was just the one. We're dealing with a temple of illithids. And
He had a
that's
tadpole
high,
in him, didn't he?
that's a-
And we took that tadpole, didn't we?
maybe we offer a trade. He wants your baby back, do you?
How long? Baby back, baby back.
All right, so we're back.
We're
Yeah, that
back.
was fast.
That's what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
Got me a pellet grill.
Oh, nice.
Did you say pelican?
Grill.
Oh, nice. Okay.
That was outlet on the rocker hood.
Nice.
It's like it was already or 25% off. And so I was like, I know what I wanted to find, and I go up and I'm like getting it, and I'm like, oh, it went down. It's $300 for a $700 fucking.
Damn. Nice. That's it.
So yeah, you guys are talking to Inquisitor Eknon. She makes mention that they have resources in Thoru'Forek that you guys could potentially take advantage of. Bartering though, not just for free.
But no food. Okay.
They have food, you just can't eat the apples off that tree.
Yeah, there's just something about forbidden fruit.
Those are the fancy apples.
I would like to ask the Inquisitor if she could tell us anything about Kale or Adlack's general demeanor from the past.
Mm-hmm. All right. So, as she, this is the Brennan Lee Mulligan problem, where he's like, I need a mouth on my back. I need a back mouth.
Shovel almonds.
Mm-hmm. Like a
This
furnace.
knacker.
Yeah.
I
To
don't think
answer your
I've,
question, almonds.
yeah, I don't think I've ever connected with someone I've never met so strongly as when he had that rant.
And of course, I like that. Yeah, he got back to the answer at the end of it too. He's aspirated and everything. So, as she says, so you ask about Adlack and Kale, asking about what specifically?
More about their kind of like their demeanor or how they would approach kind of their ideals of problems, I guess, to see if anything has changed over the centuries.
Okay, gotcha. So, she kind of thinks for a moment. I've seen in the religious texts that the gods had a much more active hand in the world when they were present, physically on it. After they left, though, there was strictly a lack of that sort of direct interaction, more of a distant approach, signs, visions.
things that were presented to agents that they had, mortals that not necessarily gave worship, but pledged themselves to the ideals that these gods embody. Kale, a symbol of hope, always embodied what would inspire people to be better and do better. Adlack, though, more of strength and resolve, the inner strength to do what is necessary to weather the storm. Gods often seemed they embodied ideals, aspects of the experience that we mortals have to better ourselves, to be able to flourish. And what some people see as, and she raises up her hands, evil gods. Their true nature is more providing strength for mortals to be able to deal with the difficulties of life. We in the Underdark have a different view of the quote-unquote evil gods than those on the surface. We think it's their true nature. Adlack being the one of disasters, the storm. It's more about being able to weather them than the outright destruction caused by them.
That's where she stops.
I'm sorry, I have one additional question. In any of the ancient texts or the texts that you have access to, do you know if there's ever a mention of a conduit for Kale named Melprovada?
You can see her pause.
Not amongst the ancient texts.
And that's all she says.
Thank you for your time.
Did she seem to recognize the name when he said that? Melprovada?
You saw that there was a reaction to it. You can make an insight check as to whether or not she actually recognized it.
20 total.
Yeah, you can see that she recognized it.
Not necessarily from the ancient texts, if she.
Right.
As she looks at the group, if there's anything else I can assist you with, I will be happy to do so, but if not, I think it's time for you to take your leave and, again, find whatever means you have to make your journey here a successful one within Thoru'Forek.
How do you feel about dragon?
In what way?
I can
like
hate them.
Yeah.
I think they're fun creatures to fantasize about.
Whoa.
Are you speaking
That's
of?
what you're into.
Yeah. Are you speaking of true dragons?
We need new kinks.
Yeah, like real dragon. And when she says fantasize, Bryn just nods sagely.
Well, true dragons have not been on this world for quite some time.
Well,
Oh,
there's at least one.
That's what you think.
You see her raise her eyebrow.
Why are you
Really?
What's your purpose in withholding information?
Knowledge is power. Like, the fact that we just constantly give it away blows our minds.
Yeah, but like, don't you think more people should know about the things we know about to prepare and maybe like aid us when the time comes.
Just also assume everyone's on our side.
I don't assume she's on our side. What did she say? What's her name? Or what did she say in reaction to that?
Oh, just really? And raised her eyebrow.
Yeah, a big red and blue one. And he's real crazy.
We have
Interesting.
reason to believe that Kai Vareth is loose somewhere.
See her pause and think for a moment. I recall that name. Where was it? You see her start to look over some of the text that she walks over to one of her tables and starts kind of thumbing through them. No, I remember that name. Where was that name from?
He was. Let's see if I can find it in my notes.
He was a dragon man.
Yeah.
Or maybe he was just a dragon.
See her think, that name, that was one of the dragons of the Tychromicon, one of its progeny.
Yes, Tychromicon was
yeah.
the name I was looking for.
Yeah.
And you're saying this dragon lives here, now.
Yes, it does.
Somewhere.
He's somewhere in the world. We don't know if he's on. Yeah, we just know that he has been released from his prison place.
Somewhere in the world.
And just
Like-
to be clear, it wasn't us.
That is... I'm glad it was not you that released him, but that is unfortunate news.
Yeah, there also may be a really angry angel thing chasing it. So I really don't know where that landed either. But just so you know, there may be one out there. In case you didn't have enough to worry about.
She kind of...
And added resurrection.
You can see her lap a bit. Yes, well, Shadow has been trying to come back for, I don't know, somewhere around 10,000 years. I don't believe that's going to happen.
There's like a really big cult following of it on the mainland, and they've got like potentially 2, maybe 3 pieces together.
Yeah. Do you guys not get very much information here on the island?
You don't have Wi-Fi.
Does not have phones?
You don't have satellite.
Then I have postal service here.
Yeah.
Okay.
Do you have Toogle? Communication Google?
Oh. I was like, Toogle. Oh, it's good. She pauses. No, we don't exactly have much contact with the outside world. Unfortunately, many of the tunnels that we had used to enter the Underdark have been sealed. So, getting information comes normally at a very slow pace. Well, that is unfortunate. All the more reason for you to reassemble the rod, I assume.
That's
Yeah.
part of the reason you're seeking this to use in our fight against the Shatter.
Quite the task ahead of you. Not just on dealing with this, then. Reassembling the rod is sounding like the least of your concerns.
Scary to think that's the case, but I think you are correct.
All I can say is I wish you the best of luck. When you return, should you return, I'll be happy to provide that peace to you.
Thank you.
Oh, get to it. She ushers, or kind of gestures for you to leave.
I'll turn around and start walking through the door.
And once you walk out of that kind of circular area, that kind of area that she gestured for you to speak to, you feel that effect end. So, as you walk out there, you can see Redoran still standing out there, or Daro, sorry, still standing out there. As he then perks up, so you've spoken with the Inquisitor. How did everything go?
It's good.
Only had to get one finger.
You got off light.
What did you have to give up?
Yeah.
You don't want to know.
Yeah. Nothing. I was just making a joke. Yes. So, what is the next course of action for you?
We are going to make our way around the island to the rest of the towers.
Well, I suppose you'll want your way out of here. Follow me. I'll guide you out.
We're not gonna check on the provisions that they're offering to barter.
Oh yeah, I mean I'm totally up.
Is that something you want us to do in game, or do you want us to do out in Discord?
Wait, were they within the tower or just in?
No.
Oh,
okay,
yeah.
yeah.
Okay. I thought they were.
Yeah. So as you make mention of the provisions and things, he says, did she speak specifically on what they were?
She
Apples.
said
She said we could have as many apples as we'd like.
That doesn't sound right. Make a deception check.
Watch me nail it. No. 6.
6, okay. he looks to Daruk again.
blacksmith and vendor selling magical items, I believe she mentioned.
I see. So you'll want to speak to Soriel and probably Master Adri. Master Soriel is the master of the forge on the island. He works at the Basilisk's Fang. And then Master Adri, Kara Donnell, is at the Violet Quill. She's the Master of Scrolls and the one that oversees our arcane practitioners. We have a number of them that assist with various, defensive measures. And I believe they may have the items that Inquisitor Eknona made mention of.
You said Soriel and Adri?
Correct.
So no master of apples.
Your child is still bothering me.
Yeah, I mean, she's promised one apple, but she keeps trying to everything.
And that is Rin's child.
And he looks to you, Rin, your child is still bothering me.
He's
Should I-
actually older than Sheila.
Should I feel like a little kid and be like, actually, she's my big sister?
Yeah.
Your,
Cool aunt.
Cool aunt. Yeah, there we go.
the child in your care is still bothering me.
So, Izzy, you're the older sister, technically, right?
You get used to it.
Well, if you were looking...
We're gonna die on this island.
He looks, if you were looking for some sort of food provisions, you're welcome to visit our garden. Not the one within the tower, but the one that we cultivate to actually provide nourishment for our people. It is not
Do
the
you have
one...
fruit?
I'm sorry?
Do you have other fruit?
Of course.
Like allowed to be eaten?
Yeah, do you
Yes,
have
just-
apples that like come from the tree that are like not wholly quality apples, so you pass them down to your followers? Can we get some of the day-old apples?
The tree within the tower is sacred. If you're looking for other food, fruit, vegetables, mushrooms, all of that's grown in the garden that is outside of the tower. You're welcome to that.
Are you allowed to eat the apples from the tree?
See, the
I don't
problem
eat
is you keep engaging. If you just ignore her, it'll stop.
That makes sense.
I do have an actual question about the tree. Was it here before you arrived here on the island?
Oh, yes. The garden itself was. We tend to it, but we only keep any sort of growth continuing along. We really don't have to do much, though. It almost stays in its exact form. Occasionally there might be a plant that starts growing outside of that kind of garden area and keep it within the border, but it, from what we understand, is a seed from the Green Warden. Provides the life within this garden, and we tend to.
The tower were here.
It was, yes. This tower is one of the ones that was built back when the gods were on the planet, on Istoria.
So nobody else here is curious about the apples.
No.
No, let's go get you some apples.
As you head
How
out,
about them apples?
yeah.
Oh,
So, as you head out from the tower, and Rodaro kind of leads you down, and eventually takes you down from the third floor to second to first, and he walks you past the garden. He keeps an eye on Izzy, making sure that she doesn't get any sticky fingers, and leads you out the front, and bids you farewell. Good luck on your journey, and if you're looking for the places of which we spoke, the Violet Quill, you'll head down as he kind of gives you directions. It is... if you look to the south of the tower, there's kind of a building tucked away amongst the trees where it kind of forms a triangle. Yep, that would be the Violet Quill. And then he mentions also that if you're looking for any sort of food, the Dead and Buried is the dining hall / tavern. It is the 4 circular structures with a tower in the center of it, almost in the center of the area.
Buried BU or buried BERR?
Oh, BERR.
Okay.
And the blacksmith, the Basilisk Fang, is the building between the two. So
this one.
Sorry, right. So
This the second.
right. So if you go forward from where your hand was, so that is the Violet Quill, and then if you go to the right of it with the next purple building, that is the Basilisk Fang,
Got it.
and then to the right of it, that is
Got it.
the Dead and Buried.
Okay. Okay. Well, thank you again for your hospitality and patience.
You're welcome.
Daruk kind of glances at Izzy and back at him.
He looks back at Izzy too. Back to you. Not.
Again, thank you, and hopefully we will return in the next few days.
And kind of laughs a bit. A few days.
Week, 2 weeks, something like that.
That sounds more appropriate. Unless you're planning on going to one of the towers and then coming back, which that would be fine too.
As long as we are welcome, we may use this as a safe haven. But
I'm sure that will be fine. You may want to speak with the rangers about the calls to get in and make sure that you're not fired upon.
thank you for reminding me.
We do take a very active defense along the wall.
Understandable.
Good luck as you shut the door.
Well, we want to hit the shops and rest, or hit the shops and head right out, or it's everybody's.
How many days is it?
Night.
As soon as I was saying something.
Yep. So it would be in the evening. It would be night. But it would probably be closer to like about 4 o'clock or so.
Oh, so it was 3 days because fought the hag, then they rested, and then I was still stoned, and then after I got unstoned, we rested more for me.
Yep. So and then eventually got up. So yeah.
God, quit getting so stoned, man.
Yeah.
So where do you go to first?
Fruit market.
What does Rainier want to do?
Me.
Because it's fun.
I didn't know. Again, you don't want to talk about this town a little bit.
Your first stop would be Basilisk Fang if you want to check out the blacksmith.
Yeah, I was
Sure,
gonna say, it's the
let's
one.
look at stabby things. Those make me happy.
So as you go up, you see the building having the same kind of drow architecture. You know, sleek design, but also harsh angles at the ends of the building and everything. But as you begin walking up, you can hear the tings of hammers striking steel and green light coming from the inside of the place. Almost providing this kind of eerie, not quite spooky, but just an unusual aesthetic to it. Walking inside, you see a few drow walking about the working grounds, wearing common clothes beneath these heavy leather aprons, working out the imperfections in the metal they're working with, or assisting in keeping the forge hot, which is where this green light comes from. The forge burns a bright green. Overseeing the forge, you see a well-built, broad-shouldered drow man, white hair nearly shaved off, only stubble on his head. And as he walks around, he's advising the blacksmiths on their work, which you see them hanging on to his near every word. As he walks about, he is 6'3", pretty tall for a drow, with a strong build and broad shoulders. He has a sharp-featured face and a small piercing at the top of his ear. Though wearing, not unlike the other ones, the same kind of common clothes with that heavy apron over it. As he turns, seeing people in his forge, he looks over. And we have guests. What are you doing within the Basilisk Fang? And who are you?
Oh, we didn't see a front counter to go and talk to. We'll look and see if you had anything neat and high quality stabby.
That doesn't answer my question.
We are the Moonstone Guard. The Inquisitor recommended that we stop by and see what you have. We're on a mission from God.
Well, you are within the walls. I imagine you wouldn't have been allowed if you had been some sort of intruders, and using the name of the Inquisitor, those foolish enough to do so without permission would be just seeking death. So, I'll assume that you are speaking honestly. And what exactly are you looking for? Kind of crosses his arms.
The stabbing items. Magical and at a minimum.
Anything that could help us against Nightwalkers, Illithid, Storm Giant, or Cloud Giants.
Those are tall orders. Well, as luck would have it, I do have the means of making magical items here. And we do have some that we've been working on. And we also do provide ammunition for the wall. We've devised a sort of exploding bomb that you can actually activate and throw at an enemy. It'll send out a concussive blast and sometimes shrapnel, sometimes fire. Depends on what you're looking for. Yes, this guy sells grenades.
I like him already.
If you're looking for something that's more long-term use, Well, I worked with Chemomancer to make a special short sword. It's unique, but costly.
Hemomancer, so blood magic.
Yeah.
What's it do?
Oh, hey, Blood Cat, that's you.
Well, we're calling it the Bloodshed Short Sword. It invokes the constitution of the wielder to help with their attacks. It has some sort of blood rune written on it. I was instructed on how to create it, but it's admittedly, I don't fully understand it. It is. Bloodshed Short Sword is amongst the items.
There's a bunch of bloodshed.
Yes, this one's a short sword.
While he's looking at that, you have anything for either necrotic resistance or resistance to psychic damage, or?
Not exactly. I mean, we can make something without hopefully too much difficulty, but I more specialize in just your generic weapons and armor. So if you're looking for any sort of second-tiered weapons or armor, I can provide some up to that. And if you're looking for ammunition, we make that a little more readily available. We have up to a third-tier enchantment. It's costly, but we can part with some things.
Just to make sure, when he says ammunition, he means bows, crossbows. Do they have guns?
He means like arrows.
Okay.
Yeah.
Or
Arrows
sorry,
and
yeah,
bolts.
yeah. Sorry, that's what I meant.
Yeah. I do have one item that unfortunately did not turn out well, and I've been not exactly trying to get rid of it, but if you're looking to buy it, I can sell it to you at a discount. I was trying to make a shadow blade, and the damn thing turned out wrong. I think I just got the inscriptions wrong. Lights up very brightly. I hate it. But if you're looking to purchase it, I could sell that to you at a discount.
Ooh, nice line.
It might be good against Nightwalkers.
So he was trying to make a shadow blade, but instead it's super bright.
Unfortunately.
Do anything else besides shine bright?
Bright as the sun.
Like a diamond?
No, as the sun. As he
Oh, like this
says
sun?
emphatically.
Like the
Yes,
sun
like
reflecting through a
that.
diamond?
It is a sun blade.
That's the opposite of a shadow blade.
I know. I was not happy when I finished.
How'd you botch that one up?
As I said, I got the runes wrong.
I know a guy who's really good at runes.
I'm sure
I do too.
Dorgirin won't really want to use a sunblade, but Deer, would you want to use a sunblade?
I like the sun.
I can wield sun and moon.
And lastly, though not forged with metal, I did make one item that I'm particularly proud of. It is a moon bow, and it's nice. I'm quite proud of that one.
Moonbow.
If you're looking for the item, it is a glimmering moon bow.
I'm curious.
It's a +1 weapon, but it also deals radiant damage.
This is like one of those opportunities where I shouldn't pass up the deals.
How much are you feeling for that blade of sun?
Well, normally it would be a more expensive item, but I am willing to part with it for 7,000 gold.
Just casual 70,000.
It?
Yes.
I can buy a third. Kind of want.
Let me talk to my accountant.
Are you talking to Emily right now?
He must be.
No, she's upstairs.
No, okay.
We can afford it.
I'm assuming that a blade like that. I know you're looking at it, but I'm just curious for the game's sake. Can I still put a crimson right on that if I use a sword like that?
What do you mean?
I mean, because it's not. I mean, I guess
The
it's still a
Sunblade?
weapon. Yeah, the sunbeam.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because yeah, it still is the hilt, so like you could put that there potentially.
God. Fuck up an undead.
We would.
I kind of love the idea of our shadow spooky boy running around with
a
this giant glowing stick.
I mean, my weapons already glow whenever I use my radiant one anyway.
But now you have the D&D version of a lightsaber. So
Yeah.
I'd seriously
Not only
be.
that, but it is bright lights.
yeah.
I think I'd be hitting for like 68 with that on an undead.
Oh yeah, if you use your crimson right and all that sort of stuff, or no, radiant one.
Radiant,
Yeah,
and I curse it. I think it would be 6. That'd be disgusting.
would be.
I don't know that many D8s.
Oh, look at all these D8s I have to roll.
Oh, it's not like I don't know that
Oh.
you have a whole bag full of that.
Yeah, but yours are plastic. There you go.
Rude.
Right?
You're so lucky I'm not there right now. Those are fighting.
No, I want to pull out the frostbite, that frosty dagger,
Mhm.
and ask him, would this be anything you'd be of interest in? I'd kind of hand it to him.
Takes a look at it. It's unusual make.
For what?
Kind of spins it a bit. You see him kind of do a little flurry with it. It's balanced well though. I'd say yes. Be trying to incorporate this into our weapon designs. I'd say so.
What'd you be willing to give for that? You gonna do 1 for 1 for the light blade?
So he looks at it. Tell you what, I don't think that's entirely fair. I'll give you the light blade, and I'll give you a grenade too. A bomb. Sorry, it doesn't say grenade.
Can't say bomb on an air.
Yeah,
Bah, 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 bah.
I would say that's closer to a fair trade.
A holy.
Oh, I didn't really. I mean, it's still only a D4, so I've never used it. But I didn't realize I could pair this. So DC 15, I assume those things are going to survive that way. You said, so that, I'm going to kind of go, it's worth that much?
This dagger,
Yeah.
it's
Is it
unique.
a sun sword or a sun blade?
Sunblade.
Like, I thought it was just a smaller version of this, and this in the candy cane form around my finger.
It's clearly not.
What did I need to go back and see? I forgot what we made. The word was something stupid, and I forgot what it is for the candy cane.
Diabetes.
Diabetes,
Yeah,
that's what it was.
yeah.
I'm just gonna go, diabetes, and it turns into this.
Shing! Yeah. Oh, okay. That makes more sense now. Well, you're not willing to part with that, are you?
No, diabetes.
Okay. And if you are, I'd be happy to trade the bloodshed sword for that one.
Bloodshed. I did not.
Upgrades. Take the
Because
upgrades.
it seems like the, real quick, out of character more so game-wise, the bloodsheds, it looked like you could either use your dex like normal or use your concentration instead. Not
Correct.
both.
Right.
So at that point, it would make sense for like him.
Yeah.
Not just anything else, but it was maybe I'll use all my hit dice to just. Did it say you could use any amount or just the one?
It does say you can add your constitution modifier to the damage rolls and attacks made with the spell. Oh no, to
It
the
says
damage
one
rolls
of
of attacks. So you're to hit is still dex based, but you can add your constitution modifier to the damage.
So
And it's
instead
one
of
hit
you can also spend and roll any number of your unspent hit dice and add the total roll to the weapon's damage. So I could roll 14 hit dice on one attack and just absolutely annihilate it.
This one says you can roll You can spend
Hold
your
on.
one.
If the attack hits, you can also spend and roll any number of your unspent hit dice and add.
Oh, the
total.
attack. The first part's the attack roll. The other part's. I see.
So you can use one to make sure it hits, and then you can roll the other 13 to just nuke it.
You
Which
can do that.
I want to warn you, on this island, we don't get our hit dice back.
it would go boom. I think my hit dice are d10s.
I think, yeah.
Yeah, I think all your hit dice are d10s,
Right.
right? Because you're fighter bluff.
Is it just piercing damage, I'm assuming?
Yeah.
Okay.
You're just amplifying that. But yeah. Oh, it is, yeah. Especially also because you could save it for when you get a nat 20.
Literally just was saying
Thinking that.
nat 20.
Yeah.
Smite and blood.
So what are you thinking, Chris? You wanna?
I mean, I will admittedly never use the frostbite. I don't think any of you have any use in a dagger. Am I right with the shadow people? Pat, Emily?
No, it was like,
I love daggers.
Do you?
You can throw daggers.
I have thought
My
about that.
dagger is like the dullest dagger because I don't know how to care for it.
Also, it has been maintained. It is still good for a little bit longer.
Oh, that's right. You guys maintain it for me, but I used it one time. So you
No.
guys know.
Rin's using it to cut up breakfast. And
right, yeah.
Butter her toast.
You use this one. Why is my food always cold?
Yeah.
It's the only way to remember to maintain her dagger is to use it to cook.
Yeah.
No, I got this to make the side appear. I'm good.
Yeah. Did you just do the hand motion when you said that?
Yeah. My hand's like near my head and it's just pointed down and the scythe comes out and I lean on it.
You do that in the shop?
Yes.
Kind of looks neat.
Yeah.
Yeah. What do these grenade bomb things do again?
Oh, so they explode, dealing concussive damage.
They just go boom.
Yeah. Did you see the craters out front of the wall?
What do you do to set them off? Just chuck it?
Well, yes, but you have to prime it first.
Light the fuse.
Yeah,
Oh,
exactly.
you gotta actually light a fuse.
Yeah, and
It's an old school
game
grenade.
mechanics wise, it's just part of the action of actually like chucking.
It's like an old style of grenade
Yeah,
Oh, okay.
before they had pins to pull.
yep. My thought in terms of like a parallel was that there'd be a primer built into it that you basically just hit. So we'll say this. So there's a primer built into it. You have to hit the end of it and then you throw it.
Oh, it's a mortar round instead.
Yeah,
So I was gonna
exactly.
say.
Yeah, yeah.
Can we launch the grenade out of the mortar?
As he looks and you just kind of you have this like huge. I mean,
This tube.
yeah, on your back. Yeah, you should be able to give it some extra range.
Thunk.
Yeah, I mean, deal. I want to put that sunblade.
Okay, great.
I
He hands you a hilt.
yeah, I'm like, what's the word?
Oh, to activate it?
Yeah.
It's supposed to be darkness, but you can probably change that if you wanted to.
That'll be another $300.
Yeah.
300 gold.
Darkness.
Yeah. It's just lights up.
Oh, hold on. I am absolutely going to do this. Fuck, I can use it. Am I at D8 now? I am. 6.
Oh, you're actually putting it right on it?
I want to see what it does. It now has the glowing radiant light right
Yeah.
on it. Does it get any brighter?
I mean, it technically should.
I imagine the blacksmith's just like,
Yeah, please stop that.
warn me!
Yeah.
What was it, sunblade? Is that what it was? Yeah. So it still counts as finesse, right? Like, I think
Yes.
that's what it said?
Yep.
So it still does all the things I want it to do.
Yep.
Don't I see you?
Yeah, but it does not deal slashing damage. It deals radiant.
That's why I still have my piercing and my slashing weapons.
Yeah.
I've actually flipped it. Okay. And I'm gonna give the bomb to I don't
Izzy.
know what's no. Absolutely not. No offense. You want a bomb?
Sure.
Yes.
Guy with the order.
I'm going to actually chuck it to you.
No.
Look, please be careful with that.
I'll catch it.
So yeah, just it's a straight up
Fuck that shit. Make him
fragmentation
roll
grenade.
for it.
Yeah.
I will absolutely love you to make it.
No, we're not doing that. It goes off inside the blacksmith where he's making more of them. Pass. Hard pass.
What happened to this town?
All of a sudden, just boom. Yeah.
Why is there just a big crater here on the
TK.
island?
Yeah.
Everybody roll new character.
I was just I get to see Katie going, "You're calling me early. Why? What happened to D&D? I murdered the group."
Yeah. On a bad roll. Everybody
We
died.
learned about wet storage.
So yeah, it's just a fragmentation grenade.
Let's it go down when it's two-handed.
Hmm?
It's 1d8 plus 7, or it's 1d10 plus 5.
Oh,
Oh,
probably
because it lose like finesse or something.
nope. But if you are a dueler, that's probably it's your fighting style.
Yeah. Okay. So you put that other hand on it. It's
You gotta watch those hands.
Yeah.
I know, right?
Yeah. Wielding it one-handed is better, like because it's always +2 for your bonus
Okay.
versus a situational +2, I think, 3, whatever it is. Yeah. But yeah, if you wanted to, Jake, if you wanted to actually use your mortar as a grenade launcher, totally cool.
Okay. How would that work? Would I have to use a charge to fire the mortar to launch the grenade, or?
I'll say for flavor, no.
Okay.
But if you wanted to double up, I will also allow that because that's also fun.
Okay.
Water area?
No,
Recent.
it was recently. It was necromancer, or not necromancer. It was the It was at that same fight with the Starcaller Illithid. It was a an agent of, oh my god, Millicent. It's a warlock that had it.
One of the other hags.
One of the other Wretched Council.
Oh, yeah. What was that?
Vidier's former.
No,
patron.
when we fought, it was the
It was the fight that we did before we
Oh, it
got
was on the moon.
the Illithid. and-
it was the
Before that,
Feywild,
yeah.
like the area between.
Right,
Yeah.
okay. Well, we went right through and they were around like the pond and
Mhm.
yeah, it was
It was
like
frozen over.
Big cute. Yeah, okay. Okay.
Yeah.
It's been a minute.
Yeah, you guys have fought a lot of stuff at this
So-
point too. So
As I'm just like kind of like that came from. We weren't on the moon yet. That's Feywild. Sure.
thanks.
We actually used it.
Really think you could have got a better deal with kobolds, but you know.
It's kind of less. No.
Especially if they follow like the Forgotten Realms route, they just get the whole thing.
I'm not gonna say they do that, but they're not far off. As far as you could guess.
Do these have a superiority complex as well?
These guys? Maybe.
Oh, can I study the runes to see where you're wrong since I do, rune carving?
Oh yeah, sure.
Do you want to turn it into a shadow blade?
Kind of. That'd be interesting.
Yep, that's a rune.
Yep. You can make an Arcana check.
You want to do it now or you?
You can do it now, later, whenever you want. I figure this is actually a pretty decent place to pause, since I don't want to get too far into it. And there is one other place that you guys are going to explore, which honestly a couple of the arcane practitioners may want to be here present for, just to make the conversation go a little bit more easily. And we're also all dealing with being not totally run down or anything, but you know, it's a decent place to wrap up.
Okay.
Okay. So yeah, looking it over, you can see that while there are some runes written for evocation, there's a couple clear notches that were like that should have been inverted from where they were. So if you were to try to recreate it, you could fix it, but you probably can't amend it to add an additional feature to it.
I was just kind of, I'm studying, I'm just looking at him, I would kind of go over it with them, like, hey, just as a heads up, like, rune covering's a thing I'm into. It's like here and here and here, where we.
Oh. Okay, that makes much more sense. Okay, so I got it backwards.
Yeah.
Yes. Light.
She goes and looks. Do you mind writing that down for me?
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. Hand it off to him. Thank you. I'm gonna try and recreate this. You see him snatch a grenade and toss it to you.
Oh, nice.
Oh no!
I'm going to fake juggle it and then catch it.
Yeah, you seem like
Fake
Please
juggling,
don't
like,
do that
whoa.
yeah.
Start spinning out my finger.
Yeah. Please do not do that.
If you mess around, he's actually gonna make you roll for it.
I'm gonna trust my 10 in acrobatic. Yeah, I'll or a dex it. I'll give it over to Dory, yeah, Dory.
Okay, you have another one.
Okay. More grenades.
You can double Mr.
Well, I was about to say one for each hand, because he's only got.
You gotta like crush it on your forehead like a beer can.
Yeah, to activate it.
Edward Grenadier hands.
Yeah.
All right. So as you depart the blacksmith shop, Basilisk Fang, you then make your way over to the Violet Quill next. But
Violet Quill is what?
that was the arcane practitioner section, where they have a few people, potentially a hemomancer that you may have heard about. But we'll get to that next time.
Sounds good.
So we'll call it a little early there, just to make sure that we have enough time to get into the next stuff next week. And also, you know, hope not want to keeping anybody online for too late. Plus, I got to work later too. So
Yeah,
which
gonna be up a
blows,
while.
but, yeah, unfortunately. But
Get out this game.
okay, I'm down.
I should give Dota a try.
Would love to get.
It's free.
Yeah, but it's another game I gotta learn. I don't want to learn another
Dude,
game.
Dota is hard.
I know.
I've tried, even with people who know how to play, and I still get fucking trucked.
Well, yeah, we'll go ahead and call it there, though. Thanks, everybody, for tuning in. We'll be back, should be next week, with everyone, and hopefully, Em, you're feeling better by then. If not, let me know. Cool. But yeah, we'll be back next week with the rest of the Thoru'Forek adventure, and probably getting into wherever you're going to go after this. So,
Yeah, should be interesting.
actually, if you guys can let me know where you're going to go next, I can make sure that I have stuff all created for it. I've got, you know, monsters and maps, but if I can get into details, that'll also help me out.
It's your arc.
Say
So
we were gonna go in like a circle.
That was my original plan. But since we gotta come back here anyway, I don't know. We can talk about it
all right.
via Discord.
That'll work.
I have ideas, but I mean,
Where's the Lord pull you to?
Yeah.
Lord of Light.
It'd be a cool little RP thing if you know pray for some guidance and you know maybe see what happens.
I'm torn between, you know, doing the thing that I expect to be the hardest force first, which is the fortress full of Darrow and Ilfil, or
They'll give me a
do it
chance to
for
use my
saving
moves
that
and
for
everything.
last.
Knowing Tony, he probably set it up like a mega big game where you gotta beat Scissor Man so you can beat Avalanche Man. You know?
You gotta use Scissor Man's power to deal
Yeah.
with Tree Man.
Yeah, the tree.
You guys will find out.
I guess so.
All right, well, we'll call it. So we'll be back later. You guys have a good night. Take it
Thanks for
easy.
tuning in.
Yep.